Hey guys, welcome back to Average Joe Real Estate Investing. Today we're going to talk about how you can use FHA loans to enter multifamily with very low down payments. And so what would be the benefit of using an FHA loan? 3.5% down payment, 30-year fixed rate, generally a lower rate than a commercial loan. There's your main things of why you would want to do this. So there's multiple requirements and then there's a few benefits. And so the requirements are that you have to have a 580 or higher credit score, a 43% or higher debt to income ratio for your income, however many renters you're going to have once you move into one of the units. So if you have a fourplex, the other three renters, whatever they pay in rent is going to go on top of your income. And so that makes it pretty easy to obtain a 43% or higher debt to income ratio. Another requirement is 60 days after you close, you have to move into the unit. And so from the closing date, 60 days out, you for surely have to be moved in. Otherwise, you are breaking your contract to that loan. And then you have to live there for 1 year after you move in to satisfy, again, the rules of the loan. And then another notable one would be if you're, like we buy a lot of stuff from either wholesalers or fix and flippers, that type of thing. The person before you has to own the property for 90 days before they can write up an offer to purchase and sell it to you. So on day 91, you can put it under contract. You can't do it before that, otherwise you wouldn't be able to use an FHA loan. And I actually just had a friend go through this and they had to wait until the flipper had it long enough before they could do the contract and proceed with the loan and whatnot. And so those are the main requirements. So FHA also has, for a single family, a duplex, a triplex, and then a quadplex, they have amounts set that you have to have the purchase price under, and they're ridiculously high. At least for our area, they're way above what you would need. And so for a single family, it's 474 grand. Duplex 604, triplex 730,000, quadplex 908,000. And so for each of those levels, you just have to have your purchase price be under that, and then it qualifies. It's definitely going to be under that. That's for the county that I live in. We're nowhere near those numbers. So easily attainable there. I'd say maybe if you're in California or something, you might have to worry about it. I would assume the numbers would be higher though for the FHA over there. It goes by county, state, so shouldn't be an issue. And so that's your main requirements. Well, what are your benefits of an FHA loan? It's that you can owner occupy it. I don't know if that's a benefit. For me, it was. I got to move into it, needed a place to live. But the main benefits are a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. So like a normal commercial loan is 25 years, maybe 20 years, and then you relock every 5, 7, or 10 years, you relock your rate. And so my commercial loans are 5-year relock. So in 5 years, I have to you go in, you talk to the bank, you have to relock your rate. Kind of matters if values of homes go down. Do you still have enough equity? Are they going to want to renew with you? A lot more risk. 30-year fixed, there's almost no risk in my opinion. And then you usually get lower rates than what commercial loans have. So that's a big benefit as well. So it's fixed for 30 years and you just have to occupy it essentially for a year. Pretty easy to get into, I would say. There are some drawbacks of an FHA loan. You're going to pay private mortgage insurance. All FHA loans have it. You pay a little bit up front and then you pay a little bit each month. So the average that I've been told from bankers is 1.75% of the total loan you're going to pay up front during closing costs, and then 0.5 to 1% monthly after that. And so not a huge deal. You just got to make sure you run your numbers right, buy right, as we always say, and then that shouldn't be an issue. Other cool things you can do with it is a seller can credit you up to 6% for like closing costs to pay that PMI, the upfront PMI. So yeah, the seller can credit you money. That's cool. You can still do the gifted like a family or friend can gift you money for down payment, closing costs, the PMI, all that stuff. So you can, like, if your grandma, say she's getting older, she has some money she needs to get rid of before she heads to a nursing home or whatever it may be, she can gift you money for all the money that you need to close. She can gift up to that amount. So down payment, closing, PMI, your inspections, your appraisals, all that stuff she can pay for, gift you the money. So that's a cool. You can have co-signers on FHA loans. Again, if you're getting into rentals, I don't know that you should need a co-signer, but if you do and you want to get into rentals, hey, there's an option, and you don't have to have a certain amount of reserves left over after you close. I know a lot of my commercial loans, they want to know how much money I still have in my bank account, that all my bills are covered each month, and that the property cash flows. That's like the three main things. Well, with an FHA loan, for some odd reason, they don't care that you have money left over at the end of the day, which is kind of weird to me, but I guess another benefit. So as long as you're willing to live in an owner-occupied duplex, triplex, or quadplex, you can get into one of those for 3.5% down and get a 30-year fixed mortgage with it. So on the screen behind me is the duplex that I bought. So I still live in that. It's my first one that I ever bought. I live in one side and I rent out the other side. The tenant takes care of probably about 3/4 of the payment. And so I live very cheap on my side, so I can build more cash reserves for future purchases. And then I just get to live in a very nice place at a lower cost, lower down payment. So these are 3-bed, 3-baths on each side, 2-car garages, huge yards. It's finished both levels, and they're just nice. And I was able to enter it at a very low down payment, and all I have to do is live in half of it. I mean, that's what most people in our community retire in, is twin homes. And so it's not really a big deal, you know. It's not like you're sacrificing in my eyes. You're living in a really nice place and you have a close neighbor, but it's a good way to start out your rental career. And so you have to live in it for 1 year. At that point, you can move out. And so what my plan is, I'm a little over a year now. I haven't found anything I really want to buy, but you can move out and you refinance into a conventional loan at that point. So you only can have one FHA loan at a time, but you can refinance the FHA loan into a traditional loan at your bank. And then now you don't have any more FHA loans. Currently, you don't have it. It's a conventional loan now. And then you can redo this all over again. You can get another FHA loan on a 4-plex, and that's my next plan. This one I bought with a conventional loan. You can do 5 to 20% down. So a little different story. But my plan is the same, is I have a 30-year fixed rate at 3%. I'll never ever have to refinance this because I did a conventional loan up front, just because I knew rates were starting to go up and I didn't want to have to refinance out of the FHA loan to do it again. But either way, so my rate is significantly lower than what you get now. I'll never ever pull the cash out or anything of this. It's just cheap, easy money. But yeah, so now my plan is I'm going to find a 4-plex. I'll do an FHA loan, 3.5% down, and then I will move into one of the units within 60 days. I'll live there for a full year. And then at that point, if I have another 4-plex lined up, I'll refinance out of that FHA loan into a conventional loan, and then rent and repeat, and just keep doing that. And it's an easy way to get into low down payment, 30-year fixed rate mortgages on 4-plexes, triplexes, and duplexes. And so that's what I would recommend anyone starting out, use an FHA loan. And yeah, it takes very little money. You know, a $300,000 duplex, which is very common to find them under that by us. I'd say $250,000 is very, very easy to find. And so that would be, what, $10,000 down, and then probably $4,000, $5,000 max to close for closing costs. And so you're into a duplex for for right around 15 grand. I mean, that's dirt cheap on a nice unit like this. Each of these sides, if I didn't have my mother-in-law living next to me, would rent for roughly 1,500 per side, and my payment's 1,700. So obviously I cut her a little deal, but you can see once I move out, I will essentially pay for the whole thing with just one unit being rented, which is pretty crazy. So I'll just give you a little preview, just because when I mention this to most people, they always picture that you're going to live in a crap hole and that you're just sacrificing, and like it's not going to be a fun year. And I disagree greatly. I will probably do this for the next decade, just because like I said, it's an easy way to get into a cheap way to get in a nice place, and then just build your portfolio quicker. And so, like I said, 3-bed, 3 baths, both levels finished, big garages, big yard. And so, it's just like you're living in a normal house. It's a fantastic idea to be able to expand quickly. And so that's how I would recommend most people getting into real estate. It should be, in my opinion, your first move, and then your second move is most likely refinancing then to a conventional loan and doing another FHA loan. And you would have to check. I don't know if there's a time limit between that. I've heard from different bankers different information on that. If you have to wait a year or two in between the time that you refinance the FHA into a conventional before you take another one. So that would be important information to find out from your local banker. And that's all I have for you. Have a good weekend. I hope you guys go out and owner occupy some units.